That was especially effective.
Hail and well met. My name is John Welker. This is the RPG trailer. We are at Tolkien Moot, and we are going to be
this is the one.
Running a module called Rescue in Mordor.
Okay.
We will be discussing, we will be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and it is Adventures in Middle-earth, which is a 5th edition by Cubicle 7, using the standard D&D rules as the skeleton and then adding on to it with Adventures in Middle-earth. The RPG Research trailer is a mobile gaming facility, recreational therapy facility, drum circles, and other events will be also be used out of here, including LARPing, computer role-playing games, etc. RPG Research is dedicated to researching the beneficial and, if there are, not beneficial aspects of role-playing games, how they interact with people, how they benefit them, and whether or not they can be used in therapy, which the answer is yes, they can be used in therapy. People are doing it already. There is a group of us who are going to be doing this research and eventually applying it as their recreational therapy. And today, when we're here at Tolkien Moot, we'll be playing for a while, then we will take a break, have our lunch. There'll be another meeting that'll be broadcast. There is a schedule published at the Tolkien Moot website.
There's one up top.
Oh, and of course, I have my own schedule, so we will be sticking with that as we go along. Quick background on me. I am not from the Stone Age of role-playing games, but certainly from the Bronze Age. I started with basic D&D when it first came out, and have been playing since, working on everything, every system since. I was a Wizards of the Coast, not consultant isn't the word, I was in the Wizards of the Coast delegate, was up through the RPG-A, and through this current society that we're using, Adventures League. I was an Adventures League coordinator before they got rid of coordinators. Still do the same job. I also work with Saga, Spokane Area Gaming Alliance. You can find us on Facebook. We support tabletop gaming, period, other than computers, for conventions, charities, events like this, etc. So come along and see it. I will be introducing a new rule to this adventure that we use when we run the games. But you won't find it published in any of the books. You will be able to find it online. You can check the links in the comments and see where that is. I'm sure that eventually somebody will post that link to the new rule. And we will go ahead and get the characters introduced to what's happening and get the story kind of started. We're missing one of our characters and some of the printouts, but we'll try not to let that slow us up. Again, thanks for joining us, and Mare.
All right. So anyway, John, one of the things I was thinking about for, the book has this huge list of herbs and different things that we do, and we just stipulate maybe that everyone has one of each of them, and the healer who's got the herb lore thing maybe has 3 of each of them. Does that seem a reasonable thing, or would you like this to just go down and choose some arbitrarily of the herbs?
You can arbitrarily choose some. It's not going to be a big effect if you have a bunch of extra herbs. Your 10th level, you've had time to collect some.
Okay. And they all seem, except for the red water lily, relatively reasonable cost.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Plus people can hunt for herbs and things like that as they're going along.
Okay.
Alright. To start with, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to the new rule. This is Middle-earth role-playing. There are a couple rules that are not normally known to regular Dungeons & Dragons. Have anybody played Middle-earth role-playing at all? You? No?
Played Rollmaster, but not like.
Okay. Well, this is Adventures in Middle-earth. Not exactly Mercs, but it is based on Tor, the One Ring role-playing game. And it introduces some new skills to D&D 5th edition. Riddle, an accepted custom among creatures. Speaking riddles usually allowed among strangers meeting for the first time who want to speak guardedly using intelligence riddle checks. Lore. Your intelligence lore checks measures your ability to recall unusual and obscure information about old legends, ancient war gear, bits of song, rare artifacts, and the reading of ruins. So you use lore instead of arcana. Shadow lore, a dark branch of knowledge. Intelligence shadow lore checks allow you to share what you've learned about the ways of the enemy and the various creatures that stalk the shadows of Middle-earth. Where lore deals with the past, shadow lore deals with the present and the rising threat of the enemy's many minions. Tradition. Your intelligence traditions checks measure your ability to recall the proper courtesies and etiquette expected by the various free folks' cultures, along with some of their stories about their people and their respected histories. And intelligence tradition ability checks used when you wish to gain an audience. If you were here last night, you may have played an audience with Gondor, trying to get us permission to continue on the mission that we're doing now. The new rule that I am introducing that I wrote with the help of Hawk. Is that my module? Yeah. Awesome. Having the module just as we start does come in handy. Where shadows lie. Ooh, they changed the name. Okay. It was the rescue in Mordor a little while ago, but this will be just fine. Since I just got this, it's almost 200 pages long, so I'll start reading it now and get us... No. I've been reading on how this has been going since we started writing. So, we're introducing a new rule called Fellowship Focus. Fellowship Focus presents the strong ties between brothers in arms, close kinship, and compatriots. Fellowship Focus have two effects in gameplay: a source of hope or as a source of inspiration. Basically, you choose another player to be your Fellowship Focus. Now, everybody can pick the same person, or, you know, it can be groups of two. It doesn't matter how you divvy it up. You know, just because one person is focused on you doesn't mean you have to be focused on them. Presence of a Fellowship Focus affects the way a character recovers hope. A player hero may attempt to remove one shadow point at the end of a session if his Fellowship Focus didn't become wounded, poisoned, miserable, or was harmed in any other way that the lore master considers serious, such as imprisoned by orcs during play and in the same location as them. We deal with shadow points and corruption. You do bad things, you gain shadow. You see bad things, you may gain shadow. Your shadow outweighs your wisdom, then you can have madness. Like Boromir going crazy and trying to get the ring from the kids. I mean, hobbits. A player or hero wishing to remove their corruption must make a DC 13 Wisdom Insight ability check if successfully remove one shadow point. If their ability check results is a total of 25 or more, remove 2 shadow points. Permanent shadow points gained when suffering from bowel of madness can never be healed. A character gaining 1 shadow point at the end of the session if his Fellowship Focus was wounded, or 3 points if the focus was killed. Again, this is using your inspiration with your Fellowship Focus to help remove shadow points. Now, you can use this as a source of inspiration. A successful keeping the Fellowship Focus safe might inspire characters so much that it lets them recover spent inspiration. If a player spends an inspiration point to gain advantage to accomplish an action that can be considered to directly protect or favor his Fellowship Focus and succeeds, he immediately recovers the inspiration point he just spent. So normally in D&D 5th edition you have inspiration. You can only have 1 at a time, which is the same as here. And normally when you spend it, you have to wait until you do something glorious or really inspirational or just very clever and get another one. But in this case, if you use it directly for the benefit of the person that you have Fellowship Focus with, then you'll get your inspiration point back immediately. In addition, a player may spend an inspiration point on his Fellowship Focus to directly grant advantage to or combat their miserable condition as if the Fellowship Focus had spent their own. Normally with inspiration, you can spend it, and if I have inspiration, I use it and I get advantage, or I cancel disadvantage. But if I use it on you, I can say, okay, you need inspiration in this case, so here's, you get to use my inspiration. Now, you normally can give people inspiration, but I give it to you and I lose it. In this case, I'm just using it for you, as opposed to I give it to you and then you decide later if you want to use it. No, inspiration points cannot be spent to trigger another player's special abilities. Some of your special abilities of your character sheets are triggered by using inspiration. You know, so there's more than just being able to gain advantage with inspiration. So everybody actually is going to start with inspiration. Everybody gets 1 point of inspiration to begin with.
Did you bring your tokens?
Nope, I didn't bring my tokens.
Okay.
I'm going to rely on you. Actually, the answer is yes, I did bring my tokens, but I'm not going to dig them out.
Okay. I just wanted to know if you were using them. If you wanted me to dig them out.
Nope, that's fine. It'll save us some time by not dealing with them.
Alright. Okay.
Okay, so the first 22 pages is, well, the first 3 pages, 13 pages is the table of contents.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the healer, how many herbs should I take? Like 3, 4, 5?
One of the things I was thinking, maybe just stipulate 1 of each for everybody else and 3 that she's got of each.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not going to be that big a deal.
And your use of them is better than the in the book, because you took the whatchamacallit, the herbivore guide, yeah.
And then what is that? Where's that in the book?
It's under the sage character class or whatever. Let me find it here. It is on page 67. And they're healing herbs. So then, basically, your use of them is better than the other list of them on page 154.
Okay, so I'll read right there. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you didn't make the character I did, so you wouldn't be expected to know.
Yeah, I'm getting there with.
And I didn't put names on the character sheets, but in the book here they've got some common names for each of the cultures. If you don't have the book, I can show you, give you a potential good names.
What's your use actually?
It's like 150 something.
Does anybody need a copy of the Player's Guide or anything?
And John, you said that everybody had to be stealthy. We had this one,
or at least not have disadvantage on stealth.
Well, I gave this one guy the ring with a greater blessing of stealth, just so gave him a magic item in order to do that. But if that's not fine. Necessary, I could just get rid of that.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
And that from the Master's Guide?
Yes.
Here's a map you guys are going to need.
Okay.
Actually, give me that map for a second. For those who don't know and are following along, this is a piece of paper. It is a map of Mordor and the area around it. Right over here is where we're going to be starting. Gondor and Minas Tirith are there. And we're going to go to the crossroads just before the gates of Mordor. And that's where we're going to be starting off. Where they're going to end up in here, we're going to find that out later.
And another question, ahead of time thing. A couple of these guys are wanderers, and wanderers have known lands. And this one guy who's 10th level wanderer has 14 different known lands. Can Mordor be one of them?
No. And no.
Okay.
I'll make it a little simple. No.
Okay. Well, the gates of Mordor or just Gondor?
You can do like
okay.
right outside.
Yeah.
Well, if he's able to mark Mordor as one of his known lands, then he's one of the bad guys.
Okay. Okay.
Why does the passive perception change?
Alright, because you have a couple levels in Wanderer, and Wanderer has the known lands, and then Wanderer also has advantage in Wilderness. So the first one is just your passive perception. The second one is the one in any wilderness, and then the last one is the perception in a known land. And then, as we were saying, we were having a discussion here about the known lands. I think you've got 5 known lands. I wrote it over here, and I have not identified them. And that's one of the questions I was going to have for you. Do you want us to come up with a list, or can we
stipulate? It's not going to be really relevant.
That, at least some of the beginning parts of this would be known lands, like Northern and Lorien or something like that. Do we have to write it out, or can we just stipulate that?
We're stipulating.
Okay.
Your known lands are the safe to no-go places. Don't worry, you can only die once.
Safety third,
maybe twice.
Oh, did you want to take a look at that?
Oh, yeah. Party.
Everybody's had a chance to look over your rules, and let me know when you're ready to. Yeah. Shit.
We're still waiting for your bus.
Well, that's okay. We'll start the story stuff without him.
Okay.
I can reiterate things as necessary. Now, I will read some background stuff here. So in 20...
Did you take the one that had the wolf or whatever, the dog? What was it? He was one of the forest people. What was what's your culture? Woodland? Yeah, you actually have a wolf.
Oh, nothing.
And he's got some powers, and that was one of the woodland abilities. Where was I going to find this? So I'm going to show it to you on Hound of Mirkwood on page 116. And I said that basically you have used 4 of your different fellowship ones. And actually, I think maybe even said 5. So you have the thing is you have advantage on charisma, intimidation, intelligence, investigation, and wisdom perception. I think I put little numbers off to the side on each of those. And you get double proficiency. Then he can even fight, and I said he had the attack ability and disengage ability. But you definitely don't want him ever to die, because you put a lot of effort into him.
Hound of Mirkwood?
Hound of Mirkwood. There we go.
Okay, and you are a what?
He's a human woodman.
And what is everybody else?
I'm a barding.
So that's a human.
Oh, a human, sorry.
But it's a barding culture.
Yeah.
And
wandering man?
Because of because you started out as the ranger.
Anybody a hobbit?
We do have a hobbit here, but I'm not.
You're playing it right now, right?
Well, there's 3 that I think are particularly good, and 2 others I think are not quite as good, and maybe 4 others that are not quite as good. I'm thinking if no one else takes him, I'm going to choose the warrior, a human warrior, also barding. But if that one gets chosen by your other person, then I think I'm probably. What do I take?
I'm going to throw some actual Lord of the Ring minis.
Oh, very cool.
Towards you, and you guys can choose figures out of there.
Okay.
If you really can't find something you can work with, then let me know, and I have others.
I like this one.
You only have the tip of the sword. That's rare.
Well, that's because
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth. And that's actually why I think the Bardings is the best of the cultures, because you have that Barding Swordmaster or whatever that allows you to add your proficiency to your armor class, which to my mind is huge.
Yep, that's a nice feature.
You're going to want to use the ramp.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, you'll want to use the ramp to get into your seat.
I'm not. He's not at this stage.
Oh.
I just wanted to look
He's
inside.
not seen it before.
So I hadn't seen a mobile.
I talked about it for years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's real.
It is?
And we're online.
And you're live on the web.
You know, you can close the screen safely. The other door's a little sketchy, but
Okay.
But you can close it. Just do it gently, and you can turn on the air conditioning if it starts to get hot.
Will do.
You know how to do that?
Am I getting a 4th player?
Okay, who are you missing? Do you know? Let me take a look.
You said it earlier, and I totally lost it, and you said, oh yeah, they'll be showing up. And then I don't think we have them.
So we got Bill and Andrew and Danielle and Chris Wade. He's supposed to be here from the airport any minute. Once he's having trouble. Yeah, you're missing Chris Wade.
Okay, well, I'm going to start.
I'll try to ping him.
I got everything from that small to that big.
Perfect. Nice. Did you do a little intro to the camera when you started it? See if it's running okay.
I told him who I was, what we're doing.
Yep. Good.
That was Hawk Robinson's face, if you guys wasn't aware.
Trying to be Spider-Man?
We're going to send you a dental bill for that shot.
Camera bomb. Okay.
Now that I got the module, I'm going to start reading it. No.
So Katie did show up and get you.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
I ran out and was like, I'll take the
Tolkien
module.
Moot XIII. Lucky number 13. Completely scrambled. So yeah, it's starting to get muggy in here. So here's how you operate the AC. You change this mode here to cool.
Excellent.
And then you can up and down the plus and minus for how cool you want it.
Is this going to be a problem having the screen door and that back open?
You want to zip that middle thing down, and I mean it'll still work. It just won't be as efficient.
Have to do it gently. And
Gently, yeah. Because I've tested it quite a few times, and it works. So it still works.
Excellent.
Because it's going to get muggy now that it rains. Oh, and you'll want to close these. That one's already closed. This one's. Oh, and John, you should know about this.
Oh, nice. Extra light.
Okay, gradient control and all that.
Three colors. can be like
little flash.
No, they're not multicolored.
Oh, I thought they were.
There are versions, but I didn't spend the money for that.
Oh, okay.
Just made it so it'd be easier for you guys to read.
Yeah. Right now it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but for later. Alright,
And we are hooked up to power right now?
yes. Oh, and let me turn the water on. Oh, you're not using that sink.
No,
Don't need to.
Okay. Alright. Well, you know, you got the maps for the bathrooms in there then. Alright, do you want me to go around the side and set that up for you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Although, actually, we need to fence it in our last person.
When we need it. Till then.
So you have the garbage can.
Oh, there we go. Sure.
Thank you. I figured you'd want to know that.
It really is surprisingly stable with no clamps or anything on it. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I thought that the thing was there. It should be rocking if it's not.
Oh, and as far as weight ratings, in ramp mode, this ramp's 3,000 pounds. In balcony mode, it's 1,500 pounds.
Okay.
And the extension ramp is 850 pounds. So we're
just over what we needed to
well,
be.
most of them are only 600.
Most of them are 600.
Yeah.
But Murphy's Law says that 800-pounder is going to come in.
But we're hoping.
Excellent.
The chair and the person. The bag.
chair plus person. And the bag. and a service animal. Service kangaroo.
Service kangaroo.
And if anybody has any claustrophobia, this is just a path of Velcro. You can just push right through.
Okay. Super.
You can always open it.
This is not a therapy session, so I'm just kidding.
This time.
All right, have fun.
Yay! All right.
You're done.
Caleb here.
Yeah, go ahead and use them.
In the year 2941.
Whatever, yeah.
You guys are in Mordor, so we're not using no land.
Yeah.
So, 2941, Bilbo gained the One Ring, so that was when the Hobbit happened. In the year 2949 to 2950, I was hoping they had that's the wrong one. Alright, spring 2951. Arrows gather before the steward with his reports. States the land looks empty, desolate. The scouts, at least one of them, have returned reports of no direct signs of activity. Though they did see signs of cleared roads through the ash and volcano remains dormant. No signs of orcs and ash creatures anywhere to be found.
Oh, sure. Go for it.
After a great struggle against Burzburs, the witch, or Alana Valanbrege, you questioned her, and as she surrendered, she told you her tale about how a young girl fell in love with an elven lord, and eventually he reciprocated such fondness. How this young woman awaited her lover's return, yet never did he come. Only after asking those whom had traveled with him in the past did she discover he had disappeared somewhere far to the north. So she ingratiated herself with a lord and traveled north to find her love, and found him she did, deep within the prisons of Dol Guldur. So she, in desperate effort to save him, joined with a coven of necromancers who bore ties to Dol Guldur. And there she became powerful, so powerful that in a moment of desperation, wishing to see her love once more, she took host of another body. They keep from being slain by the White Council. Discovering that her love had been taken to Mordor, she decided to raise a force which would tie her to Sauron, and in turn she would gain access to her lover, Jon Alcerion.
Jon?
Jon, F-I-O-N. Last name A-L.
Cool, F-I-O-N.
That's Jon.
Okay.
That's the first word, F-I-O-N. Second word, Alcerion, A-L-C-A-R-I-O-N. That's her lover. But the body she had taken began to rot quickly, so she was forced to find another. Thus she found Lord Urbannain's son. Fortunately, you found her and put an end to a wretched body snatching. Some of you fleeing with a baby before hers was to inhabit it. However, you found pity for her tale and wished to save Lord Urbannain. When we did this last year, I was in the group and I encouraged everybody to vow to go hunt down the person, and I was the one who sent the baby away, which it turns out that if I hadn't done that, she would possess the baby and destroy us all. So I got lucky there.
Did. And so we're looking for Fionn. That's who she wants us to find.
Right.
Okay.
She asked you to swear an oath that you would rescue her love. In turn, she would vacate Urbain's body, and her soul would pass to Mandos. And there she would face her fate. So you, feeling her pain, agreed. Lord Urbannain was released, his body and soul once again. Urbannain thanked you and almost to bluster, offering his home a sanctuary should they ever need it, as well as what treasures he could afford them. You took as you will, asking him to find what he could about Mordor, and you all went your separate ways for a time. Turning the next year to find Arbane's search had turned up nothing. So you joined the search, eventually finding an ancient map of Mordor. That's the map I handed you before. You traveled to Minas Tirith, where Arbane believed it's wise to send scouts to Mordor, as far as possible, providing the steward with a sound tactical reason as to why you should do such a thing. In your time of study, in addition to your map, you discover 5 points of entry into the shrouded land of Mordor. During your search, you discover a prisoner who has long since admitted himself a spy of the necromancer, who could help you enter Mordor if you guaranteed his freedom. You wait until the scouts return in the spring, at which point you return to Minas Tirith. There you're told that Mordor is oddly empty, desolate. Not even bands of orcs were seen roaming around. Urban argues with the aid of the prisoner, and you are authorized to execute him if he lies. With the nervous manner, Steward Torgon sends you through Osgiliath and past Ithilien, where the spy, Gifrin, will tell you the way in exchange for his freedom.
What was the spy's name again? Gifrin?
D-E-R-U-F-I-N. Durfin.
And what culture and character class is he?
He was originally of a lesser Gondorian house. That long ago was great. But after the Gondorian kin strife, the power was shattered. He grew up in a bitter household, resentful of the higher houses. So it was easy prey for Sauron's minions to sow seeds in his mind that would lead him to becoming a minion of the necromancer. He's now in his 60s, feeling the shadows of age and death upon him. He just wants to be able to live his life in peace somewhere. He is terrified the necromancer will find him no matter where he goes. But he hopes that he can get a few years of peace and calm somewhere away from people.
And is he an able combatant, or at age 60 is he basically just a guide and nothing more?
He can combat if necessary, but he is going to find it difficult as your prisoner and in chains.
Oh, do we have him in chains?
Currently.
Okay, he's that untrusted.
He's a spy for Sauron.
Got it. Okay.
It's like asking if you can trust one of Hitler's elite.
It's too evil.
He will not reveal his information until he gets to the Elysian crossroads. And he says he will verbally guide you to one of the secret routes. But you must let him go his own ways. He will in turn swear never to return to the boundaries of Gondor. And he will not go into Mordor either. So, before we leave, anybody need to do any gathering of equipment, information, etc.?
Well, I figure, if somebody wants something, I figure they could have just bought it. It's paid their trouble. Is there anything on, when I wrote some stuff on people's character sheet, does anyone think of anything else that they might need? And I ended up going with the barding warrior, basically. So I guess if we are having the what was that fellowship special rule we had?
Right. Fellowship focus.
Fellowship. So I'm going to focus on the other barding character. Basically homegirl here for my focus.
Okay.
And did you come up with a name for your character?
I was thinking Chara.
Chara. And I chose Arnold for my character.
Okay.
Fellowship focus, Chara.
So let me go ask a question. Bill, what is your character's name?
It's Arnold. He is from the barding culture, so a human, and a weapon master warrior. He's a big, strong guy, and he can shield badge.
Okay. And what is your passive perception?
15.
Holy crap. Overpowering.
I need your 10th level, you're not overpowered.
White lily. Red water lily, creates a potential but evil smelling liquid. The few who know of this readily use it as its remedy. Grants the player hero +2 to attack and damage rolls for an hour. It also generates a red anger and one shadow.
Yeah. So, shadow points are bad.
Yeah.
And having an instant shadow point for using it is not a good plan. But it could be a desperate plan.
Yeah.
So, Danielle.
I am Chara.
Now, Arnoff focus is Chara.
Yes.
And I'm going to do Arnold on the same.
Okay. So you're barding. Character class?
Wander to that weird color. It's like character class, sorry, I'm reading that already.
Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah, that's it.
you
Okay.
basically Wander 2 and Scholar 8. You're basically our healer.
Background is full healer.
Okay. And what is your passive perception?
She's got
It changes. 18 is base. In wilderness is 22, and in no land is 20.
Okay. So you're going to be in some unknown lands.
I know.
but hopefully wilderness.
No.
So.
Mordor is not wilderness. Mordor.
Your name. First of all, your name.
Andrew.
Andrew.
My character's name is Welker. He's a...
Say it again?
Welker.
Welker.
Wanderer level 5, just a hunter level 5. Passive perception base 25.
Well, there were the three that...
Yeah, there's three, 25, 29, 3, and 25 base.
Yep.
Okay. Wilderness?
Wilderness everything with 29, and then no land with 33.
Yes. And you have the dog?
Yes, and yes, my fellowship.
Okay.
And his name is just Dog. Because I'd be terrible at the dog is a dog.
You have to protect that dog. Previous species were ministers when they were summoned by the spirit god.
You need extra paper? I'm sure I'll be sure to. Actually, I even had it printed up. You know, if you want to do more background on your characters, there's supposed to be 2-page character sheets. So have each of that, and you can write down the rest of that stuff.
I like to have herb come on anything healing on another. But
Sheet of paper for you to scratch paper.
Yes, I can give it.
I'll scratch paper.
that way I know how it works. I'm not fumbling around when I go to heal people.
In an attempt to solve for our fourth player, I will read what happened with that last adventure.
Okay.
Previously on the PCs were in Minas Tirith, where they were summoned by the Sword of Gondor, Durgon, and provided a letter requesting the help of the lady of a minor house on the Gondor-Rohan border at the Marian Stream. She was recently widowed, but the specter of her husband kept returning, asking her to find various bodies so that he may have release. She had asked the heroes to help in this endeavor. The heroes arrived, they investigated further, they found that the situation was more complicated. The eldest son was apparently slain by the father. Then the father turned on his own men. His body couldn't be found in the battlefield, but the few survivors from the battle returned gibbering madmen. The heroes investigated the battlefield. They were accosted by various forms of undead. They were also visited by the dead lord, who pleaded with him still to find his body, but also that his wife had just gave birth. The baby was kidnapped by a witch, the one that drove his spirit from his own body. The heroes pursued the witch and her shambling minions, eventually catching her and retrieving the baby. Then instinctively, before they really knew just how critically important a decision on their part it was, one of the heroes, no, I didn't do the fling, I'm the one who sent it, but one of the heroes immediately fled with the baby to Andoras, putting it, unbeknownst to the heroes, out of the reach and plans of the witch. Too far for her to move her spirit into. Now she was truly trapped. And the hero that got set up was the only player character with Dundan blood in the party. So we sent the only 2 people away that she could possess. We didn't know that the player character that we sent away was also a potential victim.
Well, the baby's now a year old.
Yes.
How is the baby doing?
The baby is doing fine. No ill effects. It's never got possessed. The heroes are ready to slay her for all her horrible deeds and do not put anyone else at risk. She was still in the father's body, but the witch pleaded for mercy and shared the story of how she went from a kind, innocent, lowly serving girl in the minister's courts to becoming this necromantic witch, all in the name of love. The forbidden but mutual love for an elf lord. Parties gave their hand and listened to her tale in full, and their hearts were softened. But her unnatural life needed to come to an end, preferably without harming any further the host body she occupied. Instead, they made her an offer sealed with an inviolable oath. If she would willingly let her spirit leave the body of the boy, and let the man be returned to full will, and her spirit sent to Mandos for judgment, the heroes would continue her quest to find and save her elf love. Last, believed to be a prisoner in Mordor, she acquiesced. Thank you. The story of how she became an achromatic witch escaping from Duldor's raid by the White Council in 2041 was a kiss. This is not your typical evil-hearted bad guy. All that she did was for the goal of saving her love, an elf taken prisoner by the necromancer Sauron. And there's a backstory, but alright. Before you is a great stand of trees. Looming ahead like a black wall, you see a belt of trees. As you draw near, you become aware that these were vast of size, very ancient it seemed, still towering high, though their tops were gaunt and broken, as if Tempest had lightning blast and swept across them, but failed to keep them or to shake their fathomless roots. The road branches into three directions from you. One to the north, which leads eventually to Mordor, east to Minas Morgul, and to Sirith Ungol.
And we're trying to figure out, and our spy, which way is he saying is the way to go?
Well, first of all, since we've all traveled all the way out here,
I guess this could be the spy.
Not that anybody on the screen can see that.
No.
Can't go like this. Look, we have minis. Still can't see from that distance away. But we do, honest. Maybe using maps, rolling dice, all kinds of cool things will happen, I promise. Alright.
Just hidden from you.
Yeah, I can't see anything either. I probably should put this down so I can see what you guys do it. And refer to this only as necessary. I usually don't hide my die rolls. I may lie about them, but I won't hide them.
And we might say one more of those happening in case somebody chooses to be the team.
Yeah, I'll just put that over there.
Okay.
Now, do I have your word? I shall be allowed to go unaccosted. And given a weapon, of course, so I don't get killed in the first 10 steps walking away from this place.
What are you guys' feeling on that? Can we trust him that this is a spy? Are we going to unchain him to let him be our guide, or are we going to... kind of my feeling is, I would just as soon give him the chance. Maybe he can redeem himself on this journey. So I would be willing to unchain him. I think that I don't necessarily want him to have a weapon right away, but if we are attacked, I certainly want one to be available to him. I don't think he's going to sell us out to orcs, necessarily. But what are your feelings on that? That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll basically tell him that I'm willing to trust him that far, and if we're attacked, I've got an extra weapon I will give him. Does he have any armor on?
Nope.
Do we want to just go and buy him some leather? What does he have proficiency in armor?
Yeah. You guys can give him some leather armor and a bow, some arrows, maybe a long knife. Just give him some basic protection.
Okay.
You already have it.
Or maybe like a corselet, leather corselet then? Okay. Were we still close enough to a store that we could buy an extra sword?
No, you would have bought all this before you left.
Okay, so Do we have extra leather armor?
If you need it, you guys wanted to be able to give him equipment before you let him go.
Okay, yeah. So
Instead of running naked.
we would have had all that. Although my character wants to hang on to his weapons. So.
Yeah.
Or just,
Just a little longer.
his weapons, but I'm going to hang on to them. If there's a battle, I will toss them down to him, and then we'll all have a big fight. Oh, and his name was Darrington? Darrington? What did I write down for this spy's name? Darrington?
I have it right here. Darrington.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got leather armor and a dagger and a short bow for him.
Okay. Now, you, I believe, have a map. Okay.
And what was he saying was the best route? Because we're up here, right off the board up here.
No. You are.
In this here.
Right here, the crossroads is right there.
Okay.
You are here.
Okay.
And this is Mordor. All that stuff.
And what was he saying was the best way to sneak into Mordor? Are we actually going to go through the main gate here? Or up over the mountains?
Well, you see, you in fact have 6 routes to Mordor.
There should be at the door. No, they moved past.
Okay.
That might be our character, though. Or
Yeah. Is that our guy?
Oh, let's look. I don't like this boat because I never remember how to get out.
I have that same problem. Okay, so you're playing with the screen door?
Yeah, I got it. I see nobody.
He must have ran into the house.
I got nobody.
Okay.
Alright.
So is his recommendation we just actually go through this main gate, or are we going to actually climb over the mountains?
You see, in fact, you have 6 routes in Mordor, though I only recommend a few. But if you wish to fit insane, you can take these 2 routes into Mordor. He marks the northeast waste and the southeast desert, drawing a route named
Southeast desert. Okay, so yeah, we can basically go around the mountains on the northeast or go around the mountains on the southeast, and both of those seem like go way too far.
While only for the insane, these are wastelands. You must travel for months before you would enter in Mordor. Lucky for you, these routes would gain you an element of surprise. Indeed, the southern deserts hold the Dark One's farmers, so perhaps you could glut yourself on those if you made it to the desert. Besides these routes, you could more reasonably, you could go through the pass of Mordor,
which is the main gate.
Yes, you can go right through the main gate. Or perhaps Sithith Urgol, Ungol, or even the Teeth of Mordor.
Where's that?
Mordor. The Teeth of Mordor at the top.
Was this here then?
Yes, right there. Then there's what I would recommend. Somewhat more to the south of these entrances is the Pass of Plurals. Such a little known place, it's only guarded by a single watch post. So if you have it, excuse me, I really must make good on my freedom. Can I have my weapons and go?
No, we need you to guide us.
Oh no, I don't go anywhere past here. I also promise never to go into Mordor again. As part of my requirement for my freedom was I would not go near the enemy.
So, John Breakford, when we were in Minas Tirith and was given this guy, was that our understanding as well, or
your understanding was that once you got to the crossroads, that he would tell you where to go and then he would leave.
Oh.
He is not interested. In fact, he's not allowed to go into Mordor under penalty of being executed.
Ah. Well, my concern is that he might just go straight to the gates and kind of sell us out. But if I guess could we get him to swear an oath to instead of going into Mordor to return to Minas Tirith, not tell anyone where we've gone?
I will gladly swear such an oath. I will even tell you some of the more information before I go.
Okay, then we're going to let him do that.
Okay.
Well, unless you guys object.
Seems reasonable enough.
Does anybody want to do an insight check to see if he's telling the truth?
Sure.
I'd like to give that a shot as well.
Or you can help each other to
So I'm at +5. What is your insight going to be?
I'm +2.
Okay, maybe you could help me? Give me advantage on that?
Yeah, sure.
What's your insight?
Yeah, I'll hold the ball. You want it?
There we go, natural 20. +5 makes it 25.
He honestly is telling you the truth.
Okay.
He will be as good as his word as if you're good at his word, and we'll let him go.
Alright, but I want to watch him go heading west as we're there at the crossroads.
Can't go west.
I thought he was going to go back to Minas Tirith.
No, he's been banished.
Oh.
He can't go to Gondor or Mordor.
So where's he going to go? Where's he saying he's going to go?
He has specifically stated he's going to go someplace. I haven't actually noticed with the backstory.
Well, Gondor's to the south, Minas Tirith is to the west. I guess if you go up to the north.
Alright, I sworn in advance from Williams that he will be set free once he provide information. He will not reveal his information until death he lives in the crossroads. He will agree to verbally guide the heroes to one of the secret routes but insist. He has sworn never to return to the boundaries of Gondor.
Well, we're from the north. Why don't we just tell him head to the north, and if he makes it to our hometown, we'll actually buy him a drink. If he and we make it to our hometown, we'll buy him a drink.
He will flee to the lands outside of Umbral. Outside that port city, he will establish a simple, small farm. That's his plan.
All right. Well, we'll let him go then.
All right.
And he gave us the instructions on this this path that he said was to the south here a little bit. That had only
down
one
further.
guard post.
Right about here.
About here. And I also wanted him to give us the full details on the second one for just in case. Was there any other way in?
Yeah, I'll go over that stuff again in just a moment.
Okay.
Some background information I should give you.
Okay.
In addition to reporting to the Necromancer's captain, he never saw the Necromancer nor felt his awful presence after the fleeing of Mordor. He was told by the captain to attempt to rise to the social ranks by any means necessary and attempt to salvage dissension among the noble military and or peasantry, hopes of causing civil unrest as such much as possible, and to split and weaken the Gondorian forces. He elaborates that the retinue of the Necromancer, when they fled Delgor, stayed in dark places underground in the northwest corner of Mordor. In 2943, he was sent by the captain to spy on the Gondorians, first at Osgiliath, to report back the numbers, and then was administered in 2944. He was last in Mordor in 2948. Those information is slightly outdated. He knows where various privileges are likely to be kept. And 2948 with 4 possible locations throughout the northern Mordor. Sithis, Ungol, Jorthang, or on the road between either of those en route to Barad-dûr. Rumor has it that there is a plan in the near future to send all slaves to Barad-dûr soon to be used as slave laborers begin rebuilding the Dark Tower.
So he thinks that Fionn is likely to be in Barad-dûr, is what he's saying then?
Or on the way. He doesn't know specifically about the elves.
But he says that's where the slaves are most likely to be. What was the next most likely spot to find out?
Well, Sithis, Ungol, or Jorthang, on the road between either of those.
And where is that? Sure. I see Barad-dûr for sure. And then what was the other spot though? Over here.
Sithis, Ungol is right over here.
Okay.
And Jorthang. Jorthang is up here.
Okay.
So anywhere between these two places.
Or over here.
Yeah, way over there.
Alright, well then let's, we've got quite a trip ahead of us to head all the way down south and all the way back up north. And, going through Mordor, does he have a sense of it would be easier to head up just on the foothills of the mountains and head directly north, or go all the way east ways and go straight up to Barad-dûr?
I believe the path to Portos is the safest way.
Is this one right there?
No, that's the one that's going down here for.
Yeah. Okay, so but once we've gone through here, what is our best path through Mordor up to Barad-dûr?
We probably will come up here, go around the mountain here,
Okay.
and then into this area.
In here and go to these lesser places first and then Barad-dûr, or go straight to Barad-dûr? What would he recommend?
Well, I probably would try to avoid the largest concentration of orcs and monsters you've ever seen, which means avoiding Mordor.
Oh. Alright, so you're thinking better to just, even though he thinks that this is the most likely spot to find our guy, we should check these other guys first?
He's thinking that it would be somewhere in between these places here. But eventually they're all going to be moving there.
Okay.
He doesn't know when they're going to start moving over there.
Okay. Cool. Alright, well then I think we would let him go, let him head off, and then we'll trek on down south to this recommended entry. At least his first part down until we get to the entry will be the known lands. So, I know the restroom will be right back. So, we're taking a restroom break, then we won't head that direction.
Alright, you guys do that while I set up for the next piece. That's what I'm doing.
There was a map that included all the restroom locations.
There are 2 on the top floor. One to the left at the end of the hall, one to the right at the end of the hall.
Okay, you've scouted it out.
I come here every Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday.
We're frequently here.
Okay.
I might spend more time here than I do at my own house.
That's alarming.
Well, I work 3 jobs and go to school full time.
Oh, okay.
Anywhere I spend more than 16 hours, I might spend more time.
What's the best way for me to get up here?
Probably out the screen door.
Whichever's most helpful.
I can get up this way.
We're going to do what's known as the traveling phase. And we're going to do it straight out of the book. I haven't done this before in an actual game, so it'd be fun to see how it works. You may or may not die of horrible and painful.
Have this one open the door here.
Yeah, that's the part I always have to figure out. Careful about closing it. Shouldn't be a problem, but go ahead. Alright. And live from an empty room, it's...
Yay!
Saturday morning. Alright. All these unnecessary things out of the way. We're going to have to assign each other jobs.
But I don't die.
Dying is bad.
Yeah, I try to avoid it. I don't know, sometimes it's like happens. So,
Death by stupidity. It's the worst way to go.
that's just, and unfortunately, that's typically how it goes. I hate being tall.
Wah! Says the short guy.
5'11", but we call it.
We'll discuss whether or not you guys want horses. You guys want horses?
Yeah.
You want horses?
Sure. I'll take a horse. Nothing like quick travel.
Some of these horses are significantly larger than the Lord of the Rings miniatures. That's about right. Okay. Alright, I'll be right back because I think Bill's going to be a few seconds. And I'm almost. In that case, I won't be right back.
Oh. Do you want anything?
Nope.
Okay. Fix your plate of veggies.
No, we're going to have a lunch break soon enough. Oh, that's the main thing you're supposed to be doing, keeping track of time and keeping us on schedule.
It is almost
Almost 10. Okay.
we still have 2 hours.
Good, good. Let's utilize those 2 hours.
Can I have the red? Can I put the red
Use your words.
folder with the time thing and the frame and the
You mean like this?
Or the blue one? Yeah, I can take the blue one.
Okay.
The red one's underneath your box.
Yeah, so I don't even want to bother to look for it. It's under the box. I can't see it. It's too hard.
Too hard. I was pointing at it. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling today is going to be kind of wonky.
Alright. So, this is something you probably haven't done in a regular D&D group before. Everybody needs, there are 4 roles that need to be taken on. People can take on multiple roles, but we need people to fill these roles. And you guys will decide among yourselves if they're taken. If there's all 4 players here, then it would be, of course, beneficial that each person take one. Guide. Only one person can be the guide. This person is in charge of all decisions concerning route, rest, and supplies. Guides rely on wisdom and survival efficiency. Scout. In charge of setting up camp, opening new trails. Scouts rely on stealth and investigation. Hunter. In charge of finding food in the wild. Hunters rely on success with survival checks. Lookout. In charge of keeping watch. Lookouts rely on their abilities and perception. Of course, other people can take watch depending on, how long. You don't want one person up all night.
Right. And they have both got the wanderer ability, so they can do they are able to do the extra jobs and still do it just fine. So I'll be on watch. I think your character has a high stealth. Yeah, super stealth. So you should be our guide, and you're going to be really good at stealth as well, and you might be our scout. And then because you're both wanderers, you can also be the hunters or something like that. There's something in there about you can take an extra roll and without being at disadvantage or anything.
So we can pull new hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't right?
And then we get another person.
Circling it. You guys know where you're heading to. So right there, so the passes. So basically, you're just going to travel down through here. There is a road, it appears. Or actually, it's a river. No, that's the my part of the river. Alright. Now, who is going to be the guide?
It is probably.
Okay, so you're in charge. All this is considering route, rest, lines, calculate wisdom, survival. Who's the scout? Okay, you're in charge of setting up camp, making trails, scout rely on self-preservation. Who's the hunter?
It's probably both of them.
Okay, so both of them will hunt when necessary. Got it? So I'm assuming you're the lookout then?
I am.
All right. So
And they're probably both better than me at that as well. But
guide will now make an embarkation roll. Take a die 12, and you will add your survival proficiency bonus plus half of your wisdom rounded down.
Okay.
All things are rounded down in D&D, right?
Survival plus half of my wisdom?
Yep.
the wisdom step or wisdom proficiency?
Wisdom bonus.
So that'd be the 4.
So you have a +4 to your wisdom bonus?
Yes, that'd be 2. So I'm plusing 10 on whatever I roll. 12.
Oh, okay. That is excellent. Maybe. All right. You really picked a good route. Though the agents of the Shadow roam far and wide, and dangers may be found anywhere in Middle Earth, the guide has wisely chosen a path that will conceal the company from the attentions of all but the most determined and alert of foes. In addition, the company seems more aware of their own surroundings and will likely spy out both troubles and opportunities on your path. As a result, you're going to get a +1 on the first roll during each encounter may be made with advantage.
+1 on first encounter?
No. During the event table, which we'll do later,
oh, okay.
You get a +1. But the first roll during each encounter for this first leg will be done with advantage. So whether or not the whatever you're rolling for, that one will be an advantage. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a combat roll. Okay. All right.
Do you want to tip anybody?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's also there as well.
So you, what was your total roll? Was it 12, right?
12, yeah.
Okay.
That was perfect, right?
No. Perfect would have been like a 14. You didn't max out your die roll.
No. Perfect would have been a 22, actually. That's as high as I go.
Let me count hexes now. Okay.
Gesundheit.
All right.
Okay, just trying to decide if it's a short or medium journey.
Nope, it's a medium.
Okay.
It's exactly 1 square into what's considered a medium. Now I have to roll a. I know how
flip a coin and add 1.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm not worried about that part.
Okay.
I'm worried about rolling what events happen. Kind of like random encounters, except your encounter may be a waterfall. It could be a monster. It could be nothing at all. I'm going to roll for the encounters. And it is modified by the embarkation roll, so we have a +1. Okay, as you're traveling along, you discover a band of travelers. We're about halfway there.
So still in Gondor then.
Well, you are on this map here. You're in South Lynn, so you are about here is where you get into the encounter.
Okay. So we met a group, you said?
You discover a band of travelers. And they are having great difficulty with their wagon. It has somehow gotten mired in mud along the road. There had been a boulder in the actual road, so they had tried to go around it and got mired in some mud. As you guys know, you guys have horses.
Well, then we can say hello and introduce ourselves and try and help these people out then.
Excellent. So you guys all agreed to help out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hi, Mom. We're still missing the one. Have you heard
Still missing Chris Wade? No, I still heard from him.
Okay.
What's going on? But you're starting with Alan, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Because we don't have time not to.
How's it going so far?
We're doing the encounters for the Journey's event table.
Okay, which route did they take?
They're going to the Poros.
Okay, I've got a map of where to get to the area.
Oh, excellent.
I'm just about trying to sketch it up. I'll probably just barely ahead of you.
Okay, excellent. Well, we're halfway there. Now,
so do we need somebody to, the animal handling to help out their animals?
yes, you need a animal handling check,
Maybe athletics to help just lift this awful thing?
you have an animal handler?
Okay,
Basically one.
Okay, so I'll help with the animals.
Okay.
and there's somebody who's injured, so I'm going to need a medicine check. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Each check must be made by a different character. So we have an athletics, an animal handling, and a medicine check.
Well, I should do the medicine.
Well, I should do the athletics, absolutely. And because both of you guys are the wanderers in your known land, the difficulty is too less. That's a wanderer special thing.
Okay, hold that up.
Sure.
And so, you're going to do the medicine check?
Yeah.
Animal handling, okay.
So the 2x.
So if any part of the journey passes through land you are known, the difficulty class for your personal event tests are lowered by 2 on page 82.
Got it. So I
That's for them.
This is me. I take the bus.
Say again?
This is your way of saying that I take the best of 2 rolls.
What?
2x.
No, that's your proficiency is doubled. Can I take a quick look at your character? Because so you have double proficiency. That's why it's so high, 12. And on your stealth, it's double because you have one of your special abilities is you can choose medicine and one other skill to have double proficiency. So those are the 2 that you have double proficiency.
Skill focus.
The number.
Remember, we get advantage on this roll because
The first roll.
The first roll.
So, the first person to roll, which will be the animal handling person, followed by the athletics, followed by the medicine to take care of the injured.
I have 19 to take care of it.
No, we'll do this first.
So 13.
13 plus. And you add your
That's
animal.
13 total.
Okay.
That includes your no man's bonus?
Yeah.
No, it's just a reduction in the difficulty class.
Yeah.
Oh,
The target number.
okay, so the target number went down.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you just barely
Succeeded.
getting that horse to move. But we aren't out of the muck yet. You just got the horse to agree with you. We're going to need your athletics check to actually get this wagon to move.
This is going to be the hard part, but my athletics is quite good, so I'm feeling optimistic. Was there a way I could try and get advantage on that roll by basically getting some of these other guys to help as I'm doing this athletics check?
You want to burn an inspiration point?
Sure, I think I need to.
All right.
So my athletics check was a 29.
29. You were having difficulty at first to get this thing to move, and then you lifted the wheels out of the muck. I mean, holy cow. The guy that was trying to help you lift, he fell on his butt as you pulled the thing away from him. Like, whoa, holy cow. So between you and the horse, that thing moves and gets out of the muck. Unfortunately, somebody did get hurt in the process of doing this. So I need a medicine check to make sure that we have him taken care of. 19, excellent. You're able to get him up. So, if all is successful, each member of the company gains inspiration.
So I get my inspiration back.
You got your inspiration back. Those of you who didn't use your inspiration, don't get it back. Because you still have your old one.
And I want to say hello to these people and find out what their story is as well.
Okay, and you need to make a quick note, guide. You have a +1 bonus on your guide roll when you arrive at your destination.
+1 bonus. On what?
The guide roll. The guide roll. Your arrival roll. That's technically the arrival roll. And there's a if everybody succeeds, there's if half the party succeeds, and there's if nobody succeeds. Unfortunately, we had everybody succeed.
Super.
So now the next encounter. This is for the hunter. If any finds time, this is for the hunter part first.
Okay.
Which is who?
Well, it could be her as a guide.
Yeah. Well, whoever took the hunters, I think you both said you were going to be hunters.
Yeah. That's what I was like, oh.
Yeah. When we find signs of easily foraged food or useful herbs at a fortuitous moment.
Oh, it's looking for herbs. I should probably. They're more powerful. They'll be more powerful if I use them.
Okay, so we're going to actually get some herbs for you.
Okay.
And so I'll need a wisdom survival check.
13. How I'm rolling with crap.
But that's enough. The goal was 14, but because you're in known lands,
I get -2.
got it. So you were able to find some nice herbs. But we've got like 3 of everything on the list already.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
Give everything on the regular list.
Cool.
Although I just put water lily and I didn't specify whether they were white or red.
You should specify. You are not going to find a water lily out here.
That's what. Well, I know. But I mean, they're for the 3 of everything. I don't think I should get 3. Red.
Right. Yeah. That's okay.
Good. Okay. We go 2 and 1. The white.
You find a herb called Elven's Basket. It'll be enough for 1 dose. You make this into a soup, and it's a heart stimulant. You get double speed for 1 hour. So instead of a 30, you have a 60. Of course, after your 1 hour, you have a level of exhaustion. Their own deed.
But you have other herbs that can eliminate the level of exhaustion. Like using your inspiration and getting it right back.
I also have an herb that doesn't appear with shadow, but it takes forever.
Uncheck.
What?
Uncheck.
I'm showing
Oh yeah, no, it's
10:01.
yeah.
Two hours.
So was it just those 2 encounters?
Those are the primary encounters.
Okay.
We have
Secondary?
no, I felt the secondary encounter was the one you already did. The herbs was your secondary encounter.
Oh.
Not all encounters are going to meet combat.
Yeah.
Arrival.
Yep, we're going to be doing the arrival phase one. And then I'll describe what you're at here. We're going to be arriving at the bridge of Mordor when we do the arrival phase.
Do you want me to go see if Montez will be next? Oh no, because I should have taken that.
I will go, but that'll give me a chance to take my micro break. There you go. There it is.
It's just a D8 plus with some pluses. Since this whole time until we get to there was in known lands, that should
and that's the end of your known land, by the way.
right, but that should reduce the peril rating for this part of the journey by 2 for her as the wanderer.
Alright,
Not if I just die.
guide roll to die 8.
Okay.
Modifier from the embarkation roll, which gave you a +1, I believe.
Yep.
And because of your helping the guys with the wagons, that's another +1. You got +2.
And then modified by the terrain difficulty, but
So there's no modification. Well, there's no modifier to the arrival road because it's modern terrain.
okay.
So I got a 4.
Hey.
But I was thinking because it was a known land, it should count as easy terrain for her.
We're just getting out the bottom.
What?
We're just at the bridge.
Good.
We're moving on quickly.
That's okay. I'm just a little ahead of you, so
Just barely.
So comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Still no word from Chris.
Now,
John, one of the things I was going to say was, as it was through the entire journey passes through known lands, lower the peril rating by 2, so that it should have counted as easy terrain despite being modern terrain. And so it should be yet another +1.
you already got a +2. You think it should be a +3, huh?
Yeah. Well, UGM, that's my understanding is rules as written, that's how that would go.
But it says difficulty roll, right?
Yeah, it says if the entire journey passes through, this is her special thing. If the entire journey passes through land to know it and you act as guide, you lower the peril rating of the journey by 2, and the peril rating is the terrain.
Right. Okay, I'll allow it.
Okay.
So +3 on your roll.
So that would be a 5.
5 is your total?
Yep.
It was a long but worthy journey. As you came near the journey, they feel every mile they have walked in the aches and pains that beset your body. The aches are good ones, the legacy of a path well walked to a worthy goal. As you arrive, your fatigue seems to slip away like mist in the summer morning, leaving you feeling refreshed and invigorated. As a result, each member of the company may immediately remove a level of exhaustion. So, you normally would have been exhausted by now, but you're not.
Super.
You would have had an uncertain arrival without that, which is okay. And you would have taken another level of exhaustion. Possibly another level of exhaustion. So that puts us at Mordor. Time check.
Oh, it's 10:05, right?
Okay.
So how much time do we have right
A little less than 2 hours.
Wow, we still have that much time left.
Yes. We wasted an hour, but we still have.
We're driving on.
Yeah. We can catch right back up.
Yeah, well, we're almost into the second phase, I think. Sturdy stone bridge spans the river, though it clearly hasn't seen any major traffic in some. Seen anything major in some traffic. Wow, that sentence is really funny. Some stones have crumbled from the bridge. The core seems solid and well made, seeming to weather many years with little difficulty. The swift flowing river is ice cold, flowing fresh from the mountains of Mordor. All along the banks, thick vegetation grows, rich with life. And let me check my notes.
So we're at the river Portos or whatever?
Yeah,
That's where we're going. Okay, yeah.
Lucky number thing.
Okay, let's go ahead and have an encounter here then, since we have the time. Quick picture close up here. I'm going to show this to
The viewers public.
I wonder how many viewers we have.
We have one viewer, my wife. That's
real?
just, I don't know. I have no way of telling how many viewers are here.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're tired of looking at my top of my forehead.
This was, I guess, our
Oh yeah.
spy. He went away.
I'm laying on the ground.
Lazy Laluka. All right, let's pull out some maps. Have an actual encounter at the bridge of Mordor. One map on.
Sorry, this is loud. I'm going to try and
Oh,
pull up our recording of us. You know how many viewers there are?
oh yeah, text Hawk and ask him to check your feed.
Okay.
Voila. The river is much bigger than it looks.
Okay. Okay.
Set your guys up as you're coming towards the bridge. That's just the edge of the bridge. The bridge will continue on.
Is your our leader? you want to be second or third?
You might want to.
Probably makes sense.
Yeah, are you on the horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, are we leading them across the bridge?
Oh, we'd be leading probably across the bridge.
Okay, so you're prepped to lead across the bridge. Excellent.
Okay, I've got that message up now. Oh. Right.
Give this map bridge a better scale. Add these two bridge pieces to the end there. This is all one bridge. Cut that one underneath. So that it's all one long bridge.
Here we go.
Okay,
One big long bridge.
Right. Now, let's put some people. The people you meet in the neighborhood.
It appears it is me and your wife talking.
At least somebody loves me. Line these guys up like on either side of the bridge.
Okay.
Well,
On the bridge.
Well, some of them on the bridge, but some people on the edge of the bridge so that they're stopping people before they get up.
Okay. So we would have encountered them here, or maybe when we were still further back.
Yeah, and you would have spotted them further back. So you don't have to have all your guys get close.
Okay.
I need a couple more minis, and I will be ready to run this.
Okay.
You have to remember, this. There it is.
So this is something we should have done earlier. Because I have news from afar. It tells me that at the start of the adventuring phase, the DM is going to give me one or two events of importance occurring somewhere in the Boulderway. Which I know isn't really a book here.
Put that over next to that guy there.
But if I could have one or two random things that maybe don't even apply, but...
I actually have things to talk. Oh, no, I just broke my...
Oh no, another carriage.
It's got to be reglued. Oh, well. It fell off. It comes again.
I think in between sessions we should see if the contact the other one of these and set it up here so you can see your miniatures.
Put those just in front of the people.
Your dogs can sniff each other.
Alright.
But your hound is far superior to theirs. Highly trained, motivated, dedicated, hardcore, all the way super trooper dog.
Okay, so you hear the guy up front. Where's the guy with the axe?
Here?
Yeah, put him right in the middle.
Or this one?
No, that one. Yeah, put him in the middle. Switch the axe. He's like, well, what we got here? Some lonely travelers. Obviously, you're here to pay the toll.
And, who's got the best charisma here? Anyone have there was another character that we didn't bring who was very persuasive, but not here among us. Does anyone have? But you've got great intimidation because of your dog. Although I don't not necessarily convince anyone to start intimidating right away. So I will just say hello and ask who they are and what is the toll to cross.
Oh, I don't know. Say 30 gold.
That seems extraordinarily unreasonable.
Oh, yes, I definitely agree. It's probably unreasonable. So, if you don't have 30 gold, we'll just take all the coins you have. Any treasure you might happen to have.
Alright, so now it's time to start intimidating.
Alright, so I'll kind of motion my dog to move along with me and kind of step a bit closer to these guys.
Okay.
And
You're going to have the horse come
yeah,
up?
the horse can go do horse.
How much closer do you move?
I think about the distance I move.
30 feet. 40 feet away from the guy talking.
Yeah. I'll have my bow in my hand, of course. Dog at my side, and I suggest that you make your toll just a tad more reasonable, so that we can all exit the situation unharmed. Should I roll it?
And go ahead, roll your intimidation.
The dog gives him like advantage and
I get like advantage and +9.
yeah, because they have double proficiency basically. Yeah. So yeah.
But you created a super intimidating person type character?
Yes. So advantage, you get to roll 2 dice and then choose another one.
And 20. So 20.
Okay. That's pretty high level to intimidate these guys because, well, think about it. They outnumber you.
They do.
How many got down there? 6?
Yep.
So 2 to 1 plus their animals?
But he did roll with all his bonuses a 20.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty high number.
Maybe they'll at least start being that much more willing to run away once we start doing some damage.
Well, what I need is instead of just say I intimidate and I roll.
Say what you say.
Yeah, tell me how you are intimidating how are you convincing a group that outnumbers you 2 to, actually literally 3 to 1 if you count the animals?
Well, I had kind of elaborated on that before, but I'll just kind of restate that, I have my bow in my hand, my dog at my side, presumably, growling at these people.
He's an intimidating dog. He's specially trained to be intimidating.
Understand?
Yep. Kind of give the guy in the front a bit of a look.
Just for high-level adventurers, just don't mess with us.
Oh, shit. Well, I didn't realize I was dealing with such highfalutin here. Let's see here. He's going to try to intimidate you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. No. We'll take half.
15 gold is still ridiculous. That's like,
Well, half of our gold and our treasure is probably.
He's assuming you don't have 30 gold.
Okay.
Half of our gold.
So when he said that as to be ridiculous, and he says, well, if that's too high, we'll just take everything.
Yeah. And so
now he's saying he'll take half of everything.
So my character's cash money is 30 silver pieces. I wrote something on each of yours.
That's 12 silver.
I have 30.
So
That would be
60, 72, so 37 silver pieces. It still seems grotesquely expensive, but we could cough that up.
What is?
And these guys look like humans. I don't really want to fight humans. If we can pay 37 silver pieces and be done with this, I'd be willing to.
Is everybody agreeing to that?
I'd just assume not be fighting humans.
I mean, we're outnumbered. Super outnumbered.
But we are intimidating high-level characters. If we can intimidate them to just drop it down to half, I'd say, cut our cash money in half.
I can also try to multi-attack right for the weak guy in the face, but I don't know how well that go over.
But these guys are humans, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I don't really want to fight humans. It's me.
Outlaws and thugs.
But they're still humans, and I don't particularly want to fight them. If we can get by with just paying the 15, or half of our cash money, I'd be willing to pay half our cash money. What are we going to need cash money in Mordor for anyway?
It's very true.
So I'd say we want to just leave a little back. I show them, show them my coin purse. I take out half of it silver, and I just put it in a little pile right near me. You guys can do the same. Say, we're just going to leave this here. If you guys will get out of the way for us to go on past, then I think we can get by. Do they go along with that?
Yes.
All right. So
all right.
Erase half my money.
We take off half your money, and
what are we going to do? Money to Mordor. That's very good.
and I was expecting a long fight on the bridge. All right.
Having some intimidation and just being willing to pay cash can help enormously.
An hour and 35 left.
All right.
I'm just going to do that at the end of each encounter.
We're going to just start getting across the Mordor.
Well, this is the longest time frame we have for active role-playing. There's 3.5 hours for a game to play. Then we have an hour and 45 minutes